Today I'd like to have a look at some right hand work and how to create a strong right hand. This is, I think, it's easier to practice on an acoustic instrument. You get more response and your right hand, somehow you have more space between the strings. So I take lots of my right hand from the sarod and from instruments, for instance, like the oud, or you can see a very similar right hand position in gypsy jazz guitarist. So it's like this curved wrist work. So this curved wrist means the law of the movement comes actually from here, from a rotation either. So it's a quite relaxed kind of, and that allows you to go faster through notes repetition. So the first exercise I would like to see, it's quite complicated and it goes through a different series of note repetition. It's really to have a control in your pick of different numbers and different subdivisions. So we're going to work on the scale of C minor Dorian. So I'm going to use this position of C minor Dorian, which is basically, for anyone that's not that hasn't heard the scale before, is not familiar with it, it's essentially like play a B flat major starting from the second note. So in C minor, if you noticed, I am using a particular position, which is playing essentially 4 notes per strings. So I'm doing 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I change strings. I do the same thing. So I always move with the first finger in each of the two positions. So starting from the 3rd fret, where I have my C on the A string. So the reason why I do this is because I want to be able to change between strings, always starting with a downstroke. This makes this exercise easier to then loop and create in a loop. So we only work with this note for now. Obviously you could be doing the same thing an octave higher. So let's look at the exercise. It's about note repetition. So we will be working with our right hand. So you see, this is the motion. One trick in this, it's to really try to accent the up of your picking. This is when you practice it very slow, especially. Do it as an automatic exercise, something that you normally do. This allows you to create more evenness in your pick, because the problem is that your downstroke, it's much easier because it follows the gravity force, goes down, whether your upstrokes is fighting the gravity force. So by accident, every time you practice this slow, it really helps you to balance the two parts of your pick. So in this exercise, what you're trying to do now is to repeat a certain amount of note for every string. So I want to repeat this note 8 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then do the same thing with the next note. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you are essentially following the scale, repeating 8 notes, 8 times the same note for each note of the scale. So that should be done though without any break. So it's So let's try this with a metronome. So it's a bit faster. So this was at 82 BPM. So until here, no problem. So start slow at whatever speed you like and try to work to a faster speed. So that's the first step. But this exercise is about control of numbers and tempo. So now we're going to try to play 7 for each note using the same speed. So we are playing essentially semiquavers. Taka, 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 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, ta, 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 ta. That's our speed, the subdivision. But now we're looking at 7. 7 repetition for each note. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So now I'm placing some gaps between them, but the whole idea of the exercise is that you play without any gap, without losing the tempo and the subdivision that you're going. Let's see it in a sequence. The whole scale will be very slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is actually one of the hardest one to play, because when we put it with the metronome, you hear they keep moving of one semiquaver every time from the pulse. Again, can be done at various different speeds. 6 is actually a bit simpler because it moves off 2 semiquaver every time, so essentially keeps just going on and off beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's look at this with the metronome. So still same subdivision, same speed, semiquaver. Now, obviously, this can be done with all numbers. So we can carry on, for instance, with 5s. 5s, again, they become quite complicated. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So whenever you'll notice that whenever you are dealing with odd numbers, your picking would keep changing in the beginning of the number, every one will be on a movement and different movement of your pick. This could be a downstroke. So if you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then the next 5s will be on the upstrokes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they keep alternating. This is happen every time you're playing using alternate picking odd numbers. This is why I'm trying to move between strings always from something that starts from a downstroke, so from an even number. I do 1, 2, 3, 4 notes here, 1, 2, 3, 4 notes here. Quindi I always have an even number, and I know the movement on the next string will start with a downstroke. Let's look at 5 and 4 and 3 and 2. You got the concept now. They're basically just a repetition of each note of the scale using different number. Each of these you're gonna have to practice steadily for a longer period of time, a very, very slow speed. I maybe could suggest to start with 8, 6, 4, like even numbers, and then look at the odd numbers. But let's look how they sound if we put them all together in a full exercise. Starting from 8, I will play each number twice and then change into the next one. 8. You can go on 5, 4, 3. We're going to show you this faster speed, so you get a sense of where you have to get to. We are now 120. Let's do 125. I repeat each one of them once. So you saw, moving from each of these number, how much control you can gain from your right hand. I hope you enjoy, have a good practice, put all these at very slow speed, analyze them, understand them first, and then loop them for a long time. Have fun.